Hey guys, I'm George, the nice medic gentleman. It's time for your daily dose of some fragrance content, and it's time for another scoring video. Haven't done one of those in a while. Today's scoring video will be about the brand of Armaf. Today I'm going to score 10 fragrances from Armaf. As usual, I'm going to start with the fragrance that will get the lowest score, and keep in mind that the scoring system is from 1 to 10 that I'm using in these types of videos. You rarely see me score something lower than, let's say, 4, I think. And the first fragrance that will actually get a score of 4 is part of the Odyssey line, and it's called Odyssey Tyrant. And this is a very sort of an interesting and weird scent. Now, this is not a straight up clone of anything. It's one of those Armaf creations where they, they take a few famous scent profiles, scent DNAs, they, mesh them up together and come up with something called a final result. In this case, it's called Odyssey Tyrant, and it's part of the Odyssey line. Now, this fragrance, in a lot of ways, to my nose, smells similar to Bulgari's Tiger, but you also have some of the scent of Dior Sauvage, the OG Dior Sauvage EDT thrown in here for a good measure. Now, keep in mind that both original fragrances, Tiger and Dior Sauvage EDT, I really like a lot. And yes, I'm one of those people that likes Dior Sauvage, the OG Dior Sauvage. So the things that the notes that make up this fragrance, I'm a huge fan on all of them, on their own. But in this creation from Armaf, for some reason, I just don't like it at all. Now keep in mind that, of course, this is my personal preference, this is my personal scoring, but this is just one of those fragrances that I didn't ever go along well with this one. It has some of that freshness, citrusy freshness that you'll find with the Tiger scent profile. You'll get some of the grapefruit. Then you'll get a bit of the woodiness and some of the ambery sweetness of Tiger. But you also get some of the spiciness and the aromatic notes that you'll find with Dior Sauvage, EDT. The end result is probably, I know that this has a fairly good score on Fragrantica, and I don't know that a lot of people actually like this one, but for some reason this has never really worked, for me personally. So this will get a score of 4. Quality is decent, although feels a bit synthetic in the opening. Price is low. Performance is, I would say, above average, but nothing more than that. And it has a high versatility factor, but still I'll give it a score of 4. The next one that will get a score of 5 is called Armaf Niche Oud, and this is one of those clones with a heavy twist from Armaf. This one doesn't feel like a straight up clone of anything. This smells in a way similar to Serge Lutens Ambre Sultan. But again, not a straight up clone. This is very spicy, it's quite dark and woody, with some floral elements in here as well. A bit of sweetness, a bit of leather. What I don't like about this fragrance is the spiciness. I think it's a little bit too spicy for my nose, especially in the opening. That's the main problem that I have with this one. Other than that, this actually smells nice. The quality here is pretty decent. The performance is again above average. It's not, although this is a little bit more pricey than some of the other fragrances that I'm going to show you in today's video. The things that I don't like, a bit of the build quality. As you can see, the cap rattles around a little bit. Again, it's just a bit too spicy for my nose, and I was expecting something with this sort of a slightly darker and warmer scent profile to actually have better performance than it turned out to have. Not a bad scent on its own, just it's not one of my personal favorites from Armaf, so that's why this will get a score of 5. The next one that will get a score of 6 is called Armaf Unique Oud Forever. And this is another clone with a twist, and this time around not such a heavy twist, but still doesn't feel super close to the original scent that this has been inspired by. The original scent that this has been inspired by is Tom Ford's Oud Wood. And this smells in a way similar to Oud Wood, but this is like a fresher, a more airy take on the original scent. And again, that's probably the main reason why this won't get a higher score, because I really like the original scent. But the things that I like about the original scent are exactly those, that dark nature of the original one, which in here has been changed quite a lot. This again is fresher, it's more airy, and just lacks that character of the original one, the depth of the original one. And I think that's done on a purpose, and that's the main reason why this will get a score of 6. Another thing that I don't appreciate that much is the performance. Now, it's not a weak fragrance, but definitely it's a little bit more on the moderate side when it comes to performance, maybe slightly above average, and also doesn't project very loudly. So this is yet another case where I actually like the original, really like the original scent that this has been inspired by, but I just don't like the twist that Armaf have done, creating Oud Forever, Armaf unique Oud Forever. So that's why this will get a score of 6. Now, there won't going to be fragrances that will get a score of 7, so I'm jumping straight to the ones that will get the score of 8. The first one is a part of the Club de Nuit line, and it's called Club de Nuit Untold. And this one, of course, is a clone of Baccarat Rouge 540. And in fact, it's one of the better clones of BR 540 that you can get. It replicates, captures the scent of the original fragrance quite nicely. You get this very modern scent that smells very spicy, it smells very woody, it smells quite sweet as well. So this has been done in a nice way, and it smells pretty similar to the OG. Of course, lacks the quality, but it costs a fraction of the price of the original one. So basically, this is a good take, and it also has a very strong performance as well. The main problem for me with this is first of all that this is the scent profile has been a bit overdone when it comes to clones nowadays. And also, I'm not a huge fan of the original scent, and I just feel, to my nose, it just feels a little bit more of a feminine scent rather than a masculine scent. So those are the reasons why this will get a score of 8. But the strong suits here are that the quality is very decent. Also, this has very strong performance. It lasts for a long time. So if you are looking for a good clone of BA 540, then I think Club de Nuit Untold is actually a good option, and I will give it a score of 8 in today's video. The next one that will get a score of 8 is one of the newer releases from Armaf. It's called Checkmate the King, or King Checkmate. This one is a clone of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Scandal per Homme Absolu, and it's actually a very, very good clone of a Scandal per Homme Absolu. The only reason why this will get a score of 8 is because I'm not the biggest fan of the OG fragrance. But I think Armaf have done a great job. If you like, the original one, then this for you will probably be a 10 out of 10. It has a very good performance. Scent-wise, smells very similar to the original one. In fact, I even think it smells a little bit darker than the original one. You'll get a lot of the sweetness from the original fragrance. It feels very modern. It's sweet. It's sexy. So all around it's done really, really nicely. Also has pretty strong performance, lasts for a good amount of time, projects nicely, and it has a very competitive price. So Armaf Checkmate the King is the second fragrance that will get a score of 8. There's going to be one fragrance that will get a score of 9, and that's Armaf Radical Brown. And the only reason why this won't get a score of 10 is the performance. And I'm going to start with that, the reason why this gets a 9 instead of a 10. I absolutely love the scent of this fragrance. It's another one of those hybrid clones. In a way, it smells similar to Parfum de Marly's Hero. It also, in a way, smells similar to L'Homme Ideal Extreme, although it's not a clone of neither of the two original fragrances, but it carries that, that scent, that sweet, slightly dark tobacco of scent that has a lot of sweetness. It has a lot of fruity sweetness, some cherry note in here, some woods, maybe a hint of spices, some incense. It really, really smells nice. I really like the scent of this fragrance. Just a very warm. It's a masculine in this warm and sort of a slightly subtle and quiet way. It smells very nicely. The quality is good. Again, the only problem with this fragrance, and the only reason why this will get a score of 9 and not a 10, is the performance on skin. It lasts for a good amount of time, definitely above average, but it's really more of an intimate type of scent. It just does not project very, very hard, and that's the only drawback of this one. Other than that, really, really nice quality, really nice scent, and also very, very affordable to this day. Armaf Radical Brown will get a score of 9. And now let's move on to the 10s, and I'm going to start with the most obvious one in the face of Club de Nuit Intense Man. In this case, I have the EDP version of the fragrance. This is the most well-known clone of Creed Aventus, and it's probably the most popular clone fragrance ever created. probably I'm saying especially based on sales, probably Armaf have sold hundreds of thousands of bottles of this line, if not millions, and for a very good reason. Again, not a straight up clone of Creative Ventus. This feels more citrusy, more lemony in the opening. Some people compare the opening to a toilet cleaner or a kitchen cleaner or something like that, and it definitely smells a little bit like this. But the EDP version, the pure parfum version, the limited edition parfum version, all those are more refined and actually smell better, smell closer to the original fragrance. All of them have really good performance, really long lasting, project nicely. They're super versatile, they're very likable and easy to wear fragrances that will give you a lot of compliments. Definitely I think you should go for something like the EDP or the limited edition parfum. So this one, Club de Nuit Intense Man EDP, is the first 10 in today's video. The next one is one of the newer releases of the Odyssey line. It's called Odyssey Spectra, and this is a very nice clone of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultra Mole, but this also smells very similar to Afnan's 9 p.m. because the opening is actually closer to 9 p.m. than it is to Ultra Mole. It's that very sweet, playful, youthful type of scent that has a lot of sweetness, pear sweetness, apple sweetness. You'll get a lot of the vanillic sweetness, you'll get the lavender, you'll get the mint, that signature combination of the Le Male line. This one though on the dry down feels a little bit darker. There's a tobacco note in here, quite a lot of cinnamon as well. It just feels like a slightly more mature version of Ultra Mole, especially on the dry down. Quality is really nice, it's very affordable and lasts for a very, very long time. I really like the original scent and all the good clones, so that's why Armaf Armaf Odyssey Spectra will get a 10 out of 10 score. The next one is part of the TAC line. It's called TAC Uomo Rosso. And this is a very, very good clone, very inexpensive clone of Paco Rabanne's Invictus Victory Elixir. And it smells really, really nice. And probably this is my most favorite clone of Invictus Victory Elixir. Again, a very sweet scent that has just a hint of freshness in the opening and a lot of sweetness on the dry down. It's warm, it's sexy, it's mass appealing, very easy to wear. Again, maybe a little bit leaning to the youthful side, but as a scent, it's really nice. And Armaf have done a great job with TAC Uomo Rosso, especially considering that this is probably the cheapest clone of Invictus Victory Elixir that you can get. Quality is nice, performance is really good with this one. Projection is nice and all that for a very little money. And the last fragrance in today's video, and the last one that will get a score of 10, is again part of the Club de Nuit line. This one is called Iconic, and this is a clone of Bleu de Chanel EDP, and it just smells great, and it's to this day remains one of my most favorite Armaf fragrances. Just like the original fragrance, this smells very masculine, again very mass appealing, very easy to wear. It's a super versatile, it's a compliment getter, maybe smells a little bit more on the mature side in this case, but I really like what Armaf have done with Club de Nuit Iconic. Again, don't expect to have exactly the same quality as the original fragrance, but definitely quality here is very nice to get you smelling very close to Bleu de Chanel EDP and all that for about a third of the price of the original one, and this has better performance than the original fragrance. So guys, in today's video I scored 10 fragrances from the brand of Armaf. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me tomorrow for your daily dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.